Sunday morning, sitting on the edge of my bed, doing my quiet time, and was just having a thought, wanted to share. So I went to a social event last night with some friends, and I got into a conversation with a girlfriend, and we were just kind of talking about trusting God, basically. And you know, her particular situation was she had been married. She did everything right. Actually, she waited. Her and her husband. She kept herself pure. They waited. They got married. They were married for 14 years, I think it was. They had 4 kids together, but he ended up leaving the marriage. He met another woman. I think he cheated and he left the marriage. And now she's in a place where she doesn't feel like she can trust God almost. Like she's just, she's like, what's up, God? Aren't you for marriage? Is what she said. And here she trusted. She did things the right way, and she even trusted after he cheated when they were separated, going towards a divorce. She's like, I'll take him back and I'll forgive him and we'll work through this. She wore her wedding ring all throughout the separation, and she was confident that they would get back together, that he would come to his senses, that God would bring him back, but he didn't come back. And now she's been separated or divorced, I guess, for about a year, and just going through that whole process and wondering, can I trust God? How do I do this again? And not knowing how it's going to work out, I guess. And, one thing I said to her first off was, number one, there's no guarantee. Waiting and doing it the right way there's no guarantee that you're going to find the love of your life and that it's going to be this fairy tale and it's going to be happily ever after. It does significantly increase your odds, I believe, and it saves you from a lot of pain. And I just kind of shared with her a story. My own personal journey is for those of you that don't know me, before I met the Lord in 2000, in March of 2000 is when I met the Lord. But before that, I was, the biggest stripper in Baltimore. I was in the phone book. I was the biggest nightclub promoter at the time in Baltimore. I was making a lot of money. I was popular. I had, a lot of sex and and just a lot of my pleasure, consumed my life. And when God called me, I didn't even know that God was real up until March of 2000. But when he called me, I stopped on a dime. I did the most radical 180 a person can do. I quit stripping. I quit promoting. I broke up with my girlfriend at the time, who I wasn't in love with, and, stopped, for the most part, stopped drinking and using drugs. I still drank a little bit, here or there, but at the time. But I did the most radical 180. I cut off all of my friends. All of my friends were, basically like me and going in the wrong direction. So I had to cut everybody off. I did the most radical 180 a person could do. I was literally abstinent for the next 6 years. And I assumed that there was going to be a payoff, like God was going to bring me a wife, because he had promised me that. And it didn't happen. And after 6 years, I backslid. And it wasn't even intentional. I did have feelings of resentment for sure towards God. I was angry a little bit with him. I was like, I couldn't have done anything more than what I did. And you didn't, what more could you have asked from me? And, so I backslid, but it was unintentional. I just got a little too close to the fire and I ended up getting burned pretty bad. But, I've been back on this path for 6.5 years, and it's been difficult. Like, life has not been easy, like I changed everything to follow. And, I gave up my career and money and, whatever. And now I'm in a grind, like life, but it's good. I mean, I have peace with God, but my point is, yeah, I feel what she felt. I feel a little like, what's up, God, but what's the alternative? I guess that's the point of this video, is what I wanted to say is, what's the alternative? Like, you could get an Ishmael, you could take matters into your own hands. If you know the story of Abraham and Sarah, Abraham received a promise from God and he was waiting. And then after, 10 years or whatever it was, he got tired of waiting, and him and Sarah came up with this plan, and they were going to, Hagar, their maidservant. And he's like, okay, go have sex with her so we can have a baby. And he you know, did that and got himself a big old problem. And it's like, so what's the alternative to trusting God? There really isn't a good one, because you could go out and maybe have some momentary pleasure or, relief from some of the pain from the weight. But at the end of the day, all you're going to do is cause yourself more pain down the road. So, really there's no good alternative besides to wait, besides to trust God and just believe that he knows what's best for your life. And I honestly believe that, as the Bible says, is one of my favorite verses is, don't become weary in doing good. At the proper time, you'll receive a harvest if you don't give up. We just don't know when that time is. It could be 20 years, we don't know. But it's who you become in the process. That's the important part. So anyway, that's my word for today. See ya.